Aloha. Welcome to Korean Natural Farming office hours for October 15th, 2023. It's a beautiful day here in Hilo, Hawaii. Sun shining, ocean's calm, next to no wind. It's actually a little hot, which probably is changing for most people in the northern hemisphere there. My parents were just in Colorado last week, and they said it was getting chilly, and fall's happening, and all the leaves were changing and such. But not the case here. Leaves are still the same. Temperature is still hot. Sun is still shining. It's been beautiful lately. A little bit of rain at night, and perfect sunny days all here. So, always nice here, but tell everyone that wants to move here, it always rains. It always rains. Yeah. So let's see here. Let's start off with a bit of higher wisdom for today. Remembering the correct order of things. Always start with higher wisdom. Always put yourself on the right foot and calm your ego down and get in the mode of serving the higher power, because that's what we are here to do, I reckon. Or not, yeah, be in concert with it or whatever. Okay, so anyway, here is Mountain Over Water, number 4. It's Ming. What's up, Ming? It's Youthful Folly. So, especially important for me. Even the foolish can attain wisdom by modestly following the sage. Folly is a characteristic of youth. Those who have had little experience generally exhibit little wisdom. This is true of us in a spiritual way as well. In comparison to the sage, we are babes in the woods. The hexagram Ming counsels us to utilize the I Ching as a lantern so that we may survive the youthful folly and travel safely through the woods of life. There's no shame in seeking guidance in life. A child is eager to be shown the way by his parents and teachers, and we are wise to recognize that in spiritual terms, we are akin to children. Our success will come quicker if we find and follow a wise teacher. The sage is able to serve in this way for those who approach the I Ching with a sincere desire to learn and grow. Move this over a little bit. To study the I Ching is to gain the perspective of the deity, to learn the cosmic lesson inherent in every situation that faces us. If we truly look for and strive to comprehend these larger lessons, we gain mastery over fear, doubt, and anxiety. We can learn from the study of the I Ching to live in a state of understanding and contentment and acceptance. But several things are required of us. The first is that we suspend the mistrust of the unknown and allow the sage to guide us, lead us. It is tempting to think the I Ching might just be a book, merely words on paper. But there's more to it than this. To accept this is to recognize the sage and become receptive to his assistance. The second thing required of us is that we quiet the demands of our egos for comprehensive answers to the questions about life. The I Ching teaches us not how to get from A to Z, but how to get from A to B, then from B to C, then from C to D. The sage travels step by step, dealing always with what is immediately at hand, and bringing complete focus and concentration to the moment. By doing the same, we fall in step with and receive the help of the creative power of the universe. Lastly, we are required to unstructure our attitude by abandoning strategies about people and situations. We let the past and future go and meet the present with an open mind. To be unstructured and open is to allow the sage to guide us safely and joyfully through life. The image of Meng is that of a stream beginning to flow down a mountainside, filling each ravine and hollow place as it goes. If we persevere in following the sage and seeking the counsel of the I Ching and filling the gaps in our own character as they're revealed, we will be led to lasting success in life. So what's up, babes? Babes in the woods, myself included, trying to find God's higher guidance, to get in alignment, to do thy will, and to love one another as they love you, fulfilling the golden rule of the big is to the small as the smallest, or smallest to the big as the biggest to the whole, right? Golden rule, mathematical formula, it's restated by multiple people representing God incarnate on this earth. What's up, Oklahoma? It's Creative Soil and Tyler Lunghammer in the house. I hope you guys met up. Hope Creative Soil, you went up to Tyler's coffee shop and checked out his pineapples. Although, I don't know, he probably already harvested his pineapples. My guess is he already harvested those, as it's probably getting cold in Oklahoma these days. What's up, Taos? Yo, we got Haka in the house. Good to see you, man. Thanks for last week. Gotta get you out there. I only partially watched your soil video. I was like, you're like, define soil. I was like, yeah, I got this one. And then you're like, you don't know what it is. I was like, I don't know what it is. You're right. Nobody knows what soil is. Soil is a mystery. It is living and alive. Good soil anyway, not just dirt holding the, you only want dirt under a foundation of a house connected to rock, which are fossilized microbes, not living ones. We got Florida in the house. Eyewitness. Yo, we've been talking about you. Me and my wife, Suze. We're like, oh, Thomas. So, what's up, man? Been talking about Pedro, Brazil. You guys, the Portuguese-speaking Brazilians. Ben, yo. What's up, man? I hope... Oh, you're sitting with Kathleen? OMG, yo. Cool. Office Hours has connected some folks. I'm glad you folks got together. That's a great thing. I hope it's all working out. She had more of an email to send to me, which let me just pull this up, because I linked up Kathleen and Ben. Ben came here, studied last year. Was awesome, man, to have him here and doing that. And then Kathleen reached out to me through the office hour, because she wanted to get to it. And she said that, she's just thankful for what I'm doing here. And she talked with her friend of 48 years, Mike from Wisconsin, about KNF, and he's looking into it. Says he works for a small kombucha company, and they have a man that comes to pick up their waste from production. Right, so like not all the kombucha makes it out. I used to do this. I used to go to the kombucha bar and ask them for all the stuff that fell in the well. After they're done pouring, it falls down, or when it's over foaming, they pour it down, and I used to grab that stuff and I used to load it in a sprayer in my car and spray it all over, and it was just great. So that's the waste, you know. Anyway, I asked him to ask the man if he was doing KNF, this guy picking up the kombucha waste. He told my friend Mike that he was engaged in KNF. Engaged. It's getting pretty serious. You're going to get married pretty soon. And he is going to give Mike a tour of his farm. So how cool is that? Like someone in South Carolina talking to their friend in Wisconsin with some random dude coming to pick up kombucha that's already doing KNF. So she says it's a small growing world. Totally true. Things that work grow naturally enough with time. Yeah, so I think this was in last week's thing where I was like complaining about YouTube unsubscribing people, which I'm not saying that it's not growing, and I'm not saying that I want this, you know, I'm just like, I'm wondering if I'm being thwarted by the algorithm or by YouTube itself. Like that's mainly the thing. You know, I'm happy with slow and steady growth. It's just like natural farming. And then she has another friend in Chester, South Carolina, who owns a large equine facility. She offers therapeutic service using hippotherapy. I think it's probably hypnotherapy. Maybe she brings hippos in, gets the horses to be like, at least you're not as angry as this hippo. Thank you. As one of the modalities, she offers classes at the farm, maybe a good introduction for people who do not know about it to learn and start using these life-saving practices of farming. So, and that could be cool because, you know, a lot of the horse things, they always are changing the bedding under them and raking it out and introducing KNF protectors, getting those lactic acid bacterias in there and getting the IMOs in there into their bedding could really help their horse health, you know, their hoof health. And also I've seen it work, you know, lactobacillus, great for helping older horses with digestion and digestive issues. Specifically, my friend Cab was talking about using effective EM for horses, but just like pasture health, you know, getting down the parasites, helping them digest better, all these wonderful benefits. So if you're into equine stuff, you know, I believe there's a huge market in the horse industry or the horse health industry. And then she's also a grant writer for a nonprofit business, Strides of Strength Therapeutic Services. So I hope, yeah, it sounds like you guys are into like horse therapy. That's pretty cool. I've heard some folks that do that. You know, works out well. And cool. So, and then she's farming 6.5 acres of black walnut trees. That's awesome. And you know, hickory nuts. So she just finished a black walnut FPJ and then tinctured the walnuts. So she's now getting, you know, a second use for that process. So anyway, I hope it works out with Ben. He's a great guy. It's cool that, you know, people can study here and then travel around the world, share these things, bring all these things together. And yeah, it's cool. It's cool to see folks connecting. So, and you guys you're connected right now. So it's cool. Hope that's working out. And, you know, maybe Ben, you could get some horse therapy and ride. I don't know how I don't know. Do you ride the horses? I don't know exactly how it works, but riding horses is cool. It's like the original car. You know, plus you get to, you know, I was thinking about it the other day. And here in Hawaii, just so much grass on the side of the road, right? And like they send guys around with mowers and they stop poisoning the side of the road, which is kind of cool. Although it's a pro and a con. The pro is that, you know, there's not poison on the side of the road. The con is that now it's like hard to see when you're pulling out on the highway. The grass grows so insanely fast here. They mow and literally they have to be back like 2.5 weeks later. Otherwise, the grass is already, you know, blocking their visibility. And their schedule is like to mow every like 2 or 3 months. And it's just like, oh man, it's so much grass. I see why they use poison, you know, just poison that shit and it's dead for like, you know, 5 months or whatever. You know, and all that washes into the ocean. We breathe it. You know, I'm not advocating to say like poison was a good solution. It was just like it was a convenient solution is what it was. You know, if you don't look at the long-term health effects, it was convenient. Um, but yeah, you know, well, my thought to get back to that tangent was that if we were riding horses around, you could just stop and the horse would graze all that grass, and then it would keep, you know, you'd have great visibility. Plus, you don't really have to worry about merging onto the highway very fast with your horse. You know, people aren't going 55 miles an hour and 60, 70, you know, whatever people do around here. You know, you could just merge on casually with your wagon and chariot, and, you know, get onto the highway. So anyway, I was just thinking horses would help keep the side of the road down. And we could even tech up even further in Hawaii County by getting sheep or goats, you know, and grazing the side of the highway. That'll be the next level of the New World Order coming to a street near you. And then what's up, Cheryl? Cheryl in the house, always talking crap about Boise so people don't move in. That's right. Where I live sucks. Don't move here. Oh, anyone that visits knows the truth. So yeah, hey, Smokey Floyd out there, starting their first apple vinegar. Cool. I guess it's apple season, right? Gotta be. It's like all the apples out there. So, and then the small ones falling, the good ones after, making those apple vinegar. Awesome. Great thing to do with kind of good apples there. If you got too many, it's the season. I got a ton of longan out front. I'm gonna try and harvest as much as I can, and then maybe make a vinegar out of that as well. Make a fruit juice out of the longan. That'd be cool. I got way too much right now. What's up, Stonemason? Got Indiana in the house. What's up? Rainbow Possum up in Washington. And Creative Soil, no car, man. Oh, well, that's good. Maybe you got to get a horse and ride the horse across the prairie. I just assume Oklahoma's a prairie. I don't really know. I haven't been to Oklahoma yet, but get a horse, man. You can mow the roadside as you go. Joe up in New York. What's up, brethren? Have you ever gotten together with Goofman? I don't know. You guys should. I know New York's a big place, but maybe you could ride the Erie Canal across and find out where he's at. I don't know. I was just learning about the Erie Canal and the whole mud flood thing, and you know, the great conspiracy that we have all these buildings that are fantastic, yet it was built with horse and wagon, and today we have diesel trucks and we build just junk buildings. If you ever want to go down a rabbit hole, check out John Levi on the YouTube. Well worth the time, just to bend your mind out of like, do we really do this? I don't know. That's all I can say. Yep. Cool. So thank you, Bird. Thanks for the super chats. I see Cheryl just dropped some. Thank you. Really keeps the show going, keeps me, showing up. I show up anyway, but it really, adds to the goodness. What's up, Pedro? Cool. You and So both chilling in Brazil. We got 2 Brazilians in the house. I hope the sugarcane's growing well down there, keeping everything good. Vladimir, yo, Vlad, it's been some time, bro. So Vlad also came to the class here, and then I don't know if you're still on the island. I'm not sure where Vlad's at, but the Microbial Secret Society, he got an orange hat. He's in the society. He knows what's up. Man, it's been a while, Vlad, thinking about it. But, some other people that you talked to ended up coming to the class, and it's good. So thanks for sharing the word, keeping good things out there. Pedro says, oh, the wind. The wind's picking up a little bit. Oh, we got another super chat. Oh, what is that one? Ben, what's up? Oh, thanks, you guys. It's like a generous kind of day. I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's always cool, man. I appreciate it. So Pedro saying here he strained his 2-year-old KNF fuel, almost like a gel. It's so good tasting. Oh man, you know you're doing good when you make good batches like that. So Pedro came here, took the class, but he was already like a really good at natural farming. But I think he learned even more here and got even better. And Sao saying, Sao, I'm just gonna say Sao. SEU. Sao. I was gonna say Sao. I don't know how to say it, but Sao sounds good to me. A few days ago, I was researching cattle digestion and enteric fermentation, which produces methane gas. Some research says that introducing lipids into the cattle diet facilitates digestion and reduce the methane production. Yeah, I would imagine that cows, the whole thing about killing the cows because of the methane is like a funny thing, because cows actually like really improve the land. If you took, like just to go into the global warming conspiracy climate change stuff here, is like the cows can actually graze like hilly land that you can't do other agriculture on. And they can graze places that aren't that great. And when you're doing proper cattle rotation management, cows actually are one of the best at restoring the soil microbiome. Like in Master Cho's recipes, he talks about green grass liquid fertilizer. And this is largely like what Jadam is based on, is taking plants and rotting them in water. But this green grass liquid fertilizer, let me pull it up here while I'm talking, but maybe I'll try and multitask that way, but we'll see if it'll work. Yeah, here, I got it here, and then let's go, I think it's one of the last recipes. And so the cows are basically, what I wanted to get to, before I get too distracted, is that the cows are basically like living fermentation vessels walking over the earth. So, this whole idea of cows are causing climate change or this, or their farts are ruining it, is they're, with proper cattle management, they're actually building tons of soil carbon. And so for any methane that's released, which, they say it's like a bad gas for the atmosphere, but then you look at how much gas there is out there, and it's like, it's questionable at best. And I'm sure some people will be like, and want to like type and tell me how wrong I am, but that's great. But one thing I can tell you is that cows have a huge benefit of building soil carbon, and that's where you want the carbon to go. So the methane is like carbon, a bigger carbon chain. CO2 is like the smallest carbon oxygen, chain. It's going down. Hey, thanks, Tyler. You guys are so generous today. That's great. I'm feeling, oh, yay. That's good. Thank you. But the carbon, the poops, everything, it builds the soil. And now you're actually taking carbon out of the air, putting into the soil, which is one of the most stable forms of carbon sequestration, is the ground. So anyway, that's, and the thing is, these gases, these cycles, like I got to get Hawkeye on here and we got to talk about the Gaia theory and go deep into that. But basically the idea is, man, you can really regenerate the earth very fast with cattle. And it's because they're fermentation vessels. There's 4 different fermentation tanks where they're doing all this, and they're turning grass and all this land. Anyway, I can get out on it, but here's the green grass liquid fertilizer recipe here. Let me zoom in a little bit more and get this up. Sorry, I'm slowly scrolling. But green grass liquid fertilizer is solubilized in extracted essence and nutrients and chlorophyll from plants. So it's basically like you're rotting the plants in the water, and then they're solubilizing and extracting the essence of them. It says it is enough to apply little green grass liquid fertilizer, just like a cow puts a little poops in many places and a little urine in many places, because it permeates well into the soil. Green grass liquid fertilizer is effective for forming aggregated soil structure of the soil. So It's that aggregated structure that then is going to bring the air and the moisture and the water and get the water vapor out of the air and into the soil and where we need it. And then that water vapor will then be creating, hydrology cycles instead of just running off into the ocean and stripping away with erosion. And then improves soil ventilation, facilitates the decomposition, which and then increases CO2 emission. So this one, like increasing CO2 emission, well, but it's a decomposition process. And, I was just talking about how it's good for the land, but then you get plants and they're breathing. So anyway, I know this is going to kind of contradict me here. I know I saw that earlier and I was like, oh, I'm going to have to cover that and be honest there. But it's not the CO2 in the air. It's like, it's anyway, if you're a CO2 person, just realize your natural farming is way more effective than a tiny bit of CO2 emissions. And fossil fuels, it's mainly pollutions you're putting out there, which are inhibiting the microbiome and all that. So anyway, but don't trust me. I'm going to get flagged on YouTube now. You can't talk about these type of things. So activates photosynthesis because CO2 is essential for photosynthesis. If you don't have enough CO2 in the air, you need that CO2 molecule to be right there when the light molecule goes through and it pulls that carbon off that oxygen, releases that oxygen, and now that carbon enters into a food sugar system. So you need CO2 in the air for plants to create oxygen to create photosynthesis. Without the CO2, there is no photosynthesis. So putting green grass liquid fertilizer increases the photosynthesis capacity. Green grass liquid fertilizer decreases the EC and pH levels. So if you have acidic soils and things, that could be good. It increases the soil temperature because you got more microbes moving around, friction, resulting in enhanced root development. And I can't highlight that, but your roots are going to grow better. So you got cows crapping out there. Now the roots are going to grow better. They're going to grow deeper. You're going to get more perennial greens, grasses growing deeper, richer, better able to graze, synergistic in the correct direction type of thing happening. Green grass liquid fertilizer can supply water without increasing the humidity in the greenhouse. So again, supplying water, more water retention in your soil, but it's not off-gassing and making water vapor heating the planet. Ooh, yay. That sounds good. Assuming the planet was cold or hot or whatever, I don't know. Anyway, green grass liquid fertilizer is excellent at fertilizing. Fertilizing, we all want to fertilize. Only a little green grass fertilizer makes cultivation possible and reduces damage by diseases and insects. Healthier plants, less disease, less insects, right? And green grass fertilizer is hard to keep long, so just make it when you need it, right? Same like the Jadams. Anyway. So how to make it. Chlorophylls are not soluble in water. Use IMO4, which break down sugars in rice bran to weak alcohol. The weak alcohol extracts and solubilizes chlorophyll and other nutrients in the plants. So you need IMO in the water. Now, this is why, again, the Jadam thing, you put the plants in the water and then you add living soil to it, right? This is the whole idea. The IMOs that are in there are going to break down the chlorophyll to make alcohol, which then extracts out the chlorophyll and the nutrients, right? It's just like a mini weak tincture that's happening. So take your various weeds, cut them pretty small. Some other organic fertilizers. This is like the Jadam, like everything mix. Put in turds and fish meal and oil cakes. Add a few kilos of those. Add IMO4, right? Or just soil. Leaf mold soil, like the living top soil there. That's really living. Add some rice bran to get your starches and carbohydrates in there. And then put it in a container and then cover it. So they're going to do an anaerobic fermentation. And I think this anaerobic fermentation is going to make it break down into alcohol quicker. And then a rubber band over that, which that's a big rubber band to cover a 200-liter container. You better have a big rubber band. You don't need that. Just use a string or something. You don't even need these things. I just do mine open. You don't need these things. And then try to make the temperature change a little bit perfectly between 23 and 25, which just put it outside room temperature. It'll be fine. And if it's winter, then put a bucket warmer to make it about this temperature. Cool shaded place with no direct sunlight. So put the materials, fill it up 2/3, fill with water to the rim, cover the container, and then you're good to go. Is there more to this? Let's see. Oh yeah, here's the method here. You guys can read that? Yeah. Okay. And then leave it to ferment 4 to 5 days in the summer. So a quick, anaerobic fermentation for 4 to 5 days when it's warm temperatures, or 7 to 10 days in the winter. But keeping it at that temperature, that 25°C, so you're going to need a bucket warmer if it's wet or cold out. And there's bubbles on the surface when the liquid fertilizer is completed. It has a bad smell because of the anaerobic fermentation. And again, this is an anaerobic jadam, like anaerobic thing. And you're only going to use a tiny bit of it, so don't worry about the anaerobes. But these, the anaerobic is going to make that alcohol, which is going to help solubilize this. So, but again, even if you don't cover it and you just leave it, it'll still get anaerobic and gross under there. And when it bubbles just a little bit, it's ready to go. So you pull off the liquid, dilute it between 1 to 500 and 1 to 1,000. So he's using 40, and then from that dilution, then you're using 40 to 60 liters per 100 A, which is acres. I don't know. But just lightly drench this stuff out there. You don't have to put it too heavy. And the electrical conductivity increases 1 to 2 months after the fermentation. So dilute with more water. So yeah. Anyway, not exactly sure what that means there, but maybe you need to water your thing more. I'm not sure what that means. Yeah, and then this is something to consider. This is interesting. This was also in the coffee project on the Kona side. They were having problems because they weren't adjusting their fertilization schedules to their natural farming amendments, but the fertilizing schedule should be readjusted when green grass liquid fertilizer is used, because green grass liquid fertilizer fertilizes fast and causes the excess nitrogen growth. So you can have it overgrow. So the solution to that would be to come out with more of your KNF structure and your KNF reproduction. Those calciums help move that nitrogen around and balance that out if you do have excess growth. So if you grow too much flesh, then you need to put more bones under it and get a balanced growth. So so there you go. This is my, like, I just take this and make this like evidence for cows and how cows are good. Because they're basically green grass liquid fertilizer machines moving around, and as long as you got enough water and you're moving your cattle around and everything, and you're keeping light doses and you're grazing properly, it's the best regenerative practice. That's why I am doing a whole bunch of cows. And what's up to George? George, he also sent me an email. And it was nice. I really appreciate getting emails from folks, you guys sharing good news. And George sent me this really kind of endearing email here. It says, "Since you are a huge environmental advocate," I'm huge, man, huge, look at me. "I am sure you would love to hear there are big companies that focus on environmental issues here in Europe." That is good. I do love to hear that. "I met one of the huge company founders, Jorn Jacobson, in my hometown." Cool. What's up, Jorn? Which I can't believe still. He's on a podcast. Here's a podcast with him on Spotify, which, I haven't listened to it yet, to be honest. But let me take this and grab this right here and drop this into the chat here. So that's the podcast that he's talked about. And He says he understands that the microbes are the way to store carbon in the soil. That's what I was just talking about. When I met him, he mentioned his plan is to get a 100-foot airship to spray the desert area with microbes. Cool, man. Getting an airship to spray with microbes, man. What could be cooler? Right? That is a cool thing here. Airship. That's better than my drone. My drone takes a fair amount of gas to keep in the air because I run the batteries, but it's cool. It's fast. It's awesome. If I had a bunch of money, I'd go get an airship too. And I'd just fly my airship over, and it's like, oh, it's not the Goodyear blimp. What's a better name for this airship? It's the Infinite Year. I don't know. It's the Good Microbe blimp. Good Microbe blimp. There you go. And then, yeah, so KNF grass management probably would increase the cattle's digestion and nutrition, getting those good microbes in there. And beef is my favorite creative soil. Me too. Love beef. Beef broccoli. Oh, you can't beat it. So thanks for the super chats. I'm way back on the chat here. That's okay. I'm way down here, but that's okay. I'm coming back. I'm getting current here. I go on these long tangent rants of things and solutions and being like cows and green grass liquid fertilizer. Hang on, I gotta sneeze. Nope, false alarm. I don't have to sneeze. Felt like I had to sneeze. That does feel like I gotta sneeze. You know what I need? Drink of milk. Oh, yeah, a mini horse service animal. That'd be great. Yeah, Pedro's saying the fine details, which, by the way, I still do have courses coming up. November, it's soon. There's still a few spots left, and then January, there's a couple spots open. I'm gonna have some people come for January too. So I'll be doing 2 classes this winter, fall, winter. So if you're in the mood, come on down, knffarm.com, check it out. Great classes coming up, man. I got some local folks coming too. It's gonna be great. My neighbor over the way is like, I gotta up my fertility game. He's gonna check it out. Come to the class. Pedro got a class coming up in December. So dude, let me know. I'll spread the word for you, help you out. Get it out. It's always good to go. Oh, riding your horse to Walmart. It's great. Hitch it up just like the old days. What did Stonemason say here? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, so Stonemason's talking about the Irish dairy farmer doing this to his pasture land. He's getting 30% more nutrient dense silage. Totally, it works, you know. Yeah. Yeah, I've been treating my pasture for about the past, I don't know, since I got the drone. Every week we've been flying over. And I tell you, the grass has been shifting. Like, now I got more Wainaku grass. And the cows, they see, you know, I don't have the same measurement, but my dairy cow is going to be back in dairy soon. And so I'll be able to know, I've been treating her pasture. And the grass is shifting for what grass is growing. And the cows, man, I don't have to rotate them as fast, but I also attribute that to that it's, you know, it's the long grass growing season right now. It's like we're starting to leave that, you know, it's the days are starting to get short and the grass will slow down growing. But I noticed I don't have to rotate my cows as fast. You know, I still want to rotate them at a quick interval so they don't overgraze. But it seems like the grass lasts longer. Maybe they're just not eating as much because maybe it's more nutrient dense. I don't know. But I've been spraying all their pastures like constantly here every week. Except for I got to fly today because otherwise I'll break that every week thing. So I'm going to do the drone after this and get it up and do the pastures. And I've been ranching a whole bunch. Oh man, this whole past week I've been fixing fence. Pigs have been infiltrating, and when the pigs, like I raise pigs in the no smell thing, awesome, cool. But when you get wild pigs in and they just start rooting your pasture, oh man, what a nightmare, because they just ruin all this great grass I spent time to grow. And they're there because the worms are there, because the soil's healthy, because the land's healthy, because I've been naturally farming. So they love to eat the worms, and it's like, oh, they just tear the pasture up. So I've been equipping, got a new AR-10, and pigs are not long for this world, let me tell you. I'm fertilizing them, composting them, eating them. And we've been eating their hearts. You know, nothing's more brutal than shooting a pig, cutting it open, eating its heart. You know, just letting the world know. Okay, if you happen to take Oliver Hussein, I gotta look that guy up. Let's Oliver Hussein. He's a visual artist. No, here we go. Okay, I'll check out this John Kemp thing here. Oliver Hussein. Hassan. It's not. No, Hussein. Oh, Hussein. It's actually an O in there. What? Then it gives me Hudson? No. Search only for Hussein. Man, it just gave me the right one. And then, okay, photosynthesis. Olivier. You gotta spell your name right here. Okay, now I got the right guy. He's an agronomist here. Photosynthesis, the bigger lover we have. Soil redox secrets. Okay, I did get the right guy here. Okay. Okay, let's see here. Fermented hot sauce. Oh, Joe is making spicy hot sauce with Trinidad scorpion peppers I grew this year. It tastes so good, but it burns twice. You gotta get the triple burn sauce. It burns on the lips, burns the stomach, burns the exit hole. Triple burn, baby. Yeah, I used to be into like super spicy stuff. Now I'm into like medium to high spicy stuff. But like too spicy stuff, just can't do it anymore. Burns a hole in my gut. Okay, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna check him out. Oliver Hussein. Olivier Hussein. Yeah, ruminant animals and herds. Yeah, because they're liquid fermenting things. So I hope I'm on the right track here doing this. What's up, Robert? Welcome. Hello, Cheryl Stonemason, everyone else that's here every week. Yes. Hey, Robert. Good to have you on, man. The soil carbon sponge. Let's see. Let's see here. Joe saying, I followed the KNF nutrient cycling prescription closely this year, and the results are phenomenal. Wow, that's great. So much food from the backyard garden. I've been giving so much away to everyone on the block. Yes, Joe, you did it, man. And following just the natural nutrient cycling prescriptions, and it works really well. It's like as if Master Cho was onto something, I think it's funny when people get the stuff and they want to immediately innovate versus just like following what he says. And it's like, man, it really works well. Why? Because it brings your things into balance. People that want to modify are always like, I want to juice this and make it huge and make it way unbalanced. And it's like, if you make it balanced, it actually is more robust and abundant. And anyway, that's my theory on it. But the good Juju blimp, that'd be a good name too. The good micro blimp, the good Juju blimp. What's this stuff raining down? It's Juju. This is called the microbes, Jujus. They're Jujus. Good Juju. And Jonathan fried a few of his baby mango plants from not diluting the alcohol enough. Man, see, you gotta follow the recipes, man. You follow the recipes and they don't burn out your plants. It's when you unbalance things, man. So just letting you know, it's oh, this is good to hear. Stonemason saying, Me too, Joe. We are buried in produce. Ran out of canning jars this year. That's pretty amazing. You know, like just abundant harvests. KNF bringing it down. Plus low, low cost farming. You know, you're not spending thousands of dollars on to grow, like the classic meme where it's like, spend $500 to grow $5 in tomatoes, it's like you can actually do it. Back on the REDOX conversation, right? Well, I haven't gotten too much into the REDOX stuff, but apparently it's important, I mean, that's speaking of important things, man, Partida, I haven't seen her around for a bit. Maybe she's watching the things later. But in Spain, she dropped some knowledge on the REDOX stuff and how maybe I can find it. It was in a YouTube comment she dropped on the channel. Let me see if I can find it. But it was just epic. That can I search my comments? Filter, search. Partida. Yeah, here, this comment right here. It's a long one. And this was on the one when I published. Let me actually switch this over here, transition this over here, and make it a bit bigger so you can read along with me. Let's make this wider so that that'll just fill up there. Make it a bit bigger. Okay. Oh man, why is this so big? I don't want to learn more. Dismiss, go away. Why can't I make that small? No. Okay. Oh, darn it. Why is that so big? Okay. Anyway, it says, good on you, Drake. Typically, those so-called non-curable diseases occur in consequence of mineral electrolyte ratios in response to the various vectors impacting local redox fluctuations. So the reduction of oxygen. So this is like burning oxygen to make this stuff happen. Pigbeard Skyship. Yes. Maybe self-imposed, maybe environmental, and beyond the farmer's reach. So it could be you're creating the problem, or it could be from the environment creating the problem. And this then opens the door for the omnipresent microbes that we have had otherwise not noticed, or in fact may have been kept through diversity as a willing or zombified or subdued beneficial. So when the redox and the nutrients and all these things get out of hand, then microbes you don't know come to prevalence, is what she's saying here. I'm just kind of reiterating these things. Some microbes change behavior based on the numbers and types of other microbes around them. See, as in the case if high levels of endophytes versus fusarium and the availability of moisture, heat, oxygen, CO2, pH, and of course EH. Minerals, proteins, carbohydrates, and so on alter each local community. Some microbial communities change a little or entirely because we farmers interfere with systems and deliver substrates and food sources without understanding how these materials select or deselect in favor of a particular ratio of life in our soil. And we often drive our own systems toward a risk state and wonder why. So again, that's why Korean natural farming, the recipes are about bringing it into balance, right? Adding enough of everything and not driving these systems, trying to maximize this or that. Balance, right? And that's what's bringing these things in. And that's the hidden things and all these consequences she talks about. This is what's happening, right? So, example, if you put excess herbicide, you introduce a highly oxidizing product. Knowing poor BX, I don't know what that is, we can see how mineral availability is impacted by pH as an example. Maybe it's a plant. So we can see not only does removing organic matter remove sorption sites for molybdenum, Mn, manganese, ions. The excess oxidization prevents the remaining manganese from gaining a bioavailable state, and so our plants can't hydrolyze water, get stressed, consume proteins, and panic trying to locate usable manganese. This stress attracts insects. Microbes present in the gut gets passed to the plant, and the lack of manganese and oxidative stress means the microbe switches to a pathogenic risk. Healthy plants that have mineral balance don't attract basic insects like aphids. So when you stress the thing out, it starts consuming itself and then makes it more available for pests to come in. If you have aphids, your plants are very unhealthy. So word to the wise, aphids are just a sign that there's a microbial or a REDOX or an imbalance in your soil or other things, right? It's not like, oh, I got to just kill the aphids. It's like the aphids are there because there's a huge imbalance of something going on. Aphids are among the most basic creatures requiring extremely low Brix to feed without dying. Raise the Brix by improving microbial communities and fixing access to all the minerals needed for healthy life. Temporary mineral applications may also be needed to improve the beneficial microbial communities through the process of kickstarting the life. So, again, coming in with maintaining. You guys, that's funny stuff, isn't it? So bringing in these other things to, kickstart life, amending with, crushed minerals and or seawater with these minerals can bring this health back and kickstart your soil, bring life back, all these things. So KNF minerals, which is the seawater, can be huge. I always think we exist in a quantum state, but our mineral electrolyte ratio keeps us in a state of protected harmony. Where we lose mineral balance, we swing into pre-existing world previously passing us by unseen. More often, these can result in negative outcomes for us or our plants. So again, like if you're in balance, your microbes, you don't even notice them, right? If the world's in balance, but it's only when you get out of balance that the microbes then become very important, right? And you start to be like, what's going on? And there's pathogens and there's other things happening. But in a balanced, harmonious state, you don't even notice your microbes. We just took it for granted. And then she goes on to say, I see also that ChatGPT makes no mention of why aphids carry a pathogenic microbe, and others in the same community don't. ChatGPT has a long way to go. Well, GPT-5 might be coming out soon, but I don't think it's going to be much better at agronomy because the humans don't know that much about agronomy because, like I said, it's all invisible until we have problems, and then we're like, oh no. Anyway, no one wants to go back to the beginning. Crying face full of microplastic in those tears. Here they cut down all the almonds for Xyla festodia, a prolific plant pathogen with about 500 known commercial crops and many, many more wild ones besides. So they got a problem. All of a sudden, they think that there's Xyla festodia attacking it. They cut down all their almonds. It's like shooting yourself in the foot because you got a toe fungus. It's like, that's not really the right solution there. Oliver Hassan. So again, Olivier Hassan. She mentions him too. So you, Partida, and Hawkeye, man, we gotta, talk about this. I gotta research this guy. But defines this microbe. This microbe occurs as a consequence of the loss of manganese through a state of increasing unchecked oxidization. So the fire burns too hot, the manganese burns up, there's nothing, and then the pH, it goes all wild, right? So again, this guy, I'm going to research him, this week, and I'll have more to share on that. The pH is not much past neutral when you plot the factors of the redox EH over pH in a graph. And so if we add a source of reduced manganese, we can slow, stop, and kill not only the Xyla, but canker and more besides, and thus we don't need to cut down any more trees. Yeah, I know that's cutting down. It's like shooting your foot to kill a toe fungus. It's like a process that itself probably helps spread spores anyway. So when you cut it down, you're spreading the spores and ensures transit to the next location. We simply need to use foliar spraying equipment and fix the problems that cause our plants to struggle to access minerals. Or put seawater and put the KNF and put more IMOs in the soil and then have that competition. Like, this is why KNF works right here. To think these people try to convince me to take an untested drug while they tell me stories about how they went to the moon. All right, cool. Yeah, I'm on your level. I'm deep in those conspiracies. I love that stuff. The more I see how they respond to real world problems, the more I know I am wasting my time hoping they will provide sensible guidance. God bless all the natural farmers. So again, speaking of REDOX, speaking of Partida, speaking of like front level, like world changing folks, man, this community, this here of what we're doing with natural farming and how we're getting there. Like, I can't be more thankful. It's really cool. It's really beautiful. I'm learning, you're learning. I get to share these things. I like acting as a central hub where things come through. I get to share them out. So many great people, like, starting to orbit around these great ideas, get the truth out there, which is like, there's many truths on many levels. Like, there's all these different things that people have strong opinions on, but the soil is the common denominator that ties us all together. And if we can get past every other thing out there and realize, look, healthy soil, good minerals, in our food and our plants, there'll be less disease, less famine, less poverty, more abundance. I don't know, in the world being as ripped apart as it's being on these geopolitical levels, it's like good soil, like throw IMO bombs where it's, very little explosive, just poof, IMOs, and like throw prosperity at people instead of, explosives and grenades and things like that, so the biophysics, understanding these things, understanding in this community here that we have, like it's something special. It really is, been cultivating this community for years, of, locally here, but growing natural farming, turning into a global movement, all these things. And I appreciate you guys tuning in to like be part of this, because it's like, you're the edge of the mycelial network, going out and like starting to penetrate and make your soil richer and your communities richer and everything where you're at. And, getting super chats here and having, it all function and flow. It's like, for me, that's my manganese, like if I don't get enough super chats, I'll use all the manganese. No. And then I'll become unhealthy and start spreading pathogens. No, I don't know. Anyway, I just say, it's not, some people are like, oh, it's all about the money and whatever. And, no, it's not. It's just, it's a flow that everything happens, and, anyway, I don't want to get too much on that, but I do want to bring it down to like peace and peace. What is peace? What is peace? What is peace? Like, this is a great, huge philosophical topic of what the heck is peace? What is peace? Let me tell you. Well, let me just stand on my high horse and tell you. No, peace is balance. It's balance. Things are going to happen. Things are going to happen. Things are going to happen. Peace is not reacting to something that happens here and then making it worse by reacting. Peace is going when something happens, coming back to that center point, coming back to that confidence that you yourself are able to grok the bigger lesson, that you're able to be in service to God. Peace is that center balance. It's not that in peaceful states, bad things aren't going to happen. It's not like everyone's going to be good because we're peaceful. It's that things happen. But peace is that center point. It's that stillness. It's that thing when something happens that you're not just reacting. You're not, like someone injures you. You don't just go and injure them and injure way more than them and try to be like, I'm going to teach you a lesson and wipe you off the face of the earth. It's no, if you get injured, you have to come to balance and to peace and be like, hey, look, sorry that happened, but the balance, the focus, the fundamentals, peace is balance. If you just react, we'll never get to peace. We'll never get balanced. Like something happen and you make it work. Peace is this stillness. It is this thing that I hope we as natural farmers can find, because things are going to happen to your soil. Things are going to happen. But if you balance and you bring it down to these subtle things and you just focus on the main core, which is, putting the solutions out, being regular, being steady at it, following the words, following Master Cho's things of where he's refined these things, understanding how the Pure KNF Foundation is helping to get these things out there, like the balance, these things there, that is the answer here of, what we need. Not to be like, I know everything and I know it. Like, I'm just telling you, like, of anything, one thing I've learned is that peace is not what we consider like, oh, everyone's in love and joy and just everything's great. No, peace means shit's going to happen. It's going to happen. But that you come back to this center still point, that it's like, you don't have to aggress, only take action to end action. And by that, I mean, just like, more than anything, that's the message I wanted to get out to, especially today with, I believe we're on the brink of World War III and all this. So anyway, be a good person, do good. We'll see what happens these weeks. I'll take this last question here. Oh, this is great. Rainbow Possum Farm here making the Fresno pepper-based hot sauce this year. Call it the Rainbow Possum Roadkill sauce. Yes. It's got kick, but not too face melting. I'd love some. If you got some, man, I'd love some. I just ran out of hot sauce. Although I do have a huckleberry like spicy one. I have one more bottle of hot sauce. But I'd love some. Anyway, so yeah, and what a great comment from Partida. It's great people like you guys making this community better. But one last question here. Yeah. So he's saying, Sadhu, what's up, man? I think he's up in Tanzania. Tanzania. Growing in pots, got IMO 4 and 5 in rice hull, biochar and soil. How much IMO 4 or IMO 5 proportions? You're going to want to put the, hey, thanks, George. Thanks. Yeah. We do have a microbial airship. It's small. It's about 100 kilos or whatever. But yeah. No, let's make this happen. Let's make it happen. Like, spread these microbes, Yeah. Anyway. So the IMO 4, you just want to top dress it on there. The IMO 5, you could make it about 10%, but IMO 5, like I said, IMO 5, you can look it up in the office hours. Speaking of the office hours, I'm just putting these things up, but knfsupport.com, go there, let's actually look this up and see if, I'm going to go here, I'm at the KNF support and just search for the office hours for soil mix. Let's see if it returns me any results for soil mix. Raised beds and soil mixes. Don't overly amend. Yeah, that's a good one to look up. This one didn't return any results because I searched for soil and mix and it's like returning only one of those, and or it's not a string. So when you search for multiple words, but let me just see what that returns. I know there's bugs still in the system. Bugs, because they don't have enough manganese and their microbes are imbalanced. No, I don't know. When I talk, KNF and soil potting mix. Oh, here. Yeah, this is a good one. Check that one out. Monocrop makes soil better. I don't know. Anyway, looking up these soils, there's hundreds of hours of this stuff. Soil pH. What kind of soil do you use for making? Oh no, that's the wrong question. But I will leave it to you guys as homework. Find out where the good soil things are. Talk about them. Just top dress, amend. Put the things. You don't want to put too much. The thing I was just talking about, balance, peace, is don't put too much IMO4 in your soil. Just top dress it on. The microbes will work their way down. They will find where it's good. They will make everything better. So, yeah. So I wish, hey, thanks. This has been one of the best super chat things. You guys, thank you for the community. Thanks for finding peace. Thanks for sharing back. Always trying to do things better. Going into overtime here. I need to drink some more milk here soon. Keep myself alive. And I really appreciate you guys. I just want to say thanks for tuning in. Thanks for people all over the world meeting here, linking up in person, finding the good people out there, increasing that, mineralizing each other, feeding each other good food, providing for your community, everything that we know is right and doing. We're not just talking, we're doing action, and that's what's going to make the difference. So I really appreciate it. Yeah, Pedro, this is the good stuff. We're doing good. So I want to thank you for tuning in. KNF Farm, if you want to do classes, KNF Support, if you want to find things, Pure KNF Foundation makes all this happen here. Master Cho, don't know where I'd be without him. And Flat Eric, he's holding it down back there. He's been chilling. And the map of Seoul. I don't know if anyone's noticed, but that's a map of Seoul, Korea. But anyway, all of it good. Speaking of peace, I'm going to go blast some pigs and keep peace. See, peace isn't always about just, nonviolence. It's about balance. Anyway. Love you all. Thank you. I'm going to try and do this correct. I know last week I was like, bye, and I just switched to the screen. So we'll go to the stream finished one here first, and then we'll do a slow curtain close. So, all right. Peace, love, thank you. Enjoy your week. Aloha. Long live the natural farmer. Peace be with you. Mahalo ke akua.